Okay, let's just state the obvious. Our world runs on data. Every single click, every share, it all fuels the incredible AI tools that we're all starting to use every day. But, there's this massive tension right at the heart of it all. How do we get all the benefits of sharing our information without just giving it all away? And that's really the billion-dollar question, isn't it? We all want those personalized experiences, the super smart assistants, the powerful insights, but we don't want it to cost us our privacy and our ownership. So how can you actually participate in this new data economy and still hold the keys to your own digital kingdom? Well, let's dive right in. The answer, it turns out, might be a whole new architecture called the Secure Data Transmission Protocol, or SDTP for short. Now, this diagram you're looking at, that's our roadmap for today. I know it might look a little complicated at first glance, but don't worry, we're going to break it down piece by piece. This shows the entire journey of your data, and it's specifically designed to keep you in the driver's seat from beginning to end. So here's how we're going to tackle it. We've got 5 sections. First, securing data at the source, then the transmission pipeline. After that, we'll look at AI processing, then web consumption, and we'll wrap it all up with the big picture. All right, let's get into it. Section 1, securing data at the source. This is absolutely the most important part because this is the first step to true ownership, and it all starts with you. So what's actually happening on your end? Well, it's a pretty straightforward 3-step process. First, you create your private data. Then, and this is the magic part, you apply what's called a cryptographic data signature. And finally, you store that signed data on your own private data server. See? You're in charge right from the get-go. So what's the big deal with that signature? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a digital tamper-proof wax seal on a letter. It's your unique, unforgeable mark, and it proves 2 things: that the data really came from you, and that nobody has messed with it. Security and ownership are baked right in. Okay, so your data is secure, it's verified, but how does it get anywhere useful? Well, that brings us to Section 2, the transmission pipeline. And this is all about creating a universal standard for exchanging data. This whole pipeline, it runs on something called the SDTP standard. Now, the key word here is universal. This isn't some proprietary system that one big company owns. It's more like a common language that everyone can speak. It's what guarantees your data's origin and its integrity can be checked and double-checked, no matter where it goes online. So what are these rules exactly? If you remember from that big diagram, the standard really has 3 main parts. You've got the data payload specification, which just defines how the data is structured. Then you have the Universal Payload Standard, which makes sure everyone structures it the exact same way. And of course, tying it all together is that all-important data owner's signature we just talked about. And here's what that data packet looks like under the hood. It's actually pretty simple. Just look at this table. It's pulled right from the source diagram. You've got a field for the owner, so we know who it belongs to. You've got the owner's signature for that cryptographic proof. And then you have the data payload itself, which holds your actual private information. It's all very clean, totally transparent, and most importantly, secure. All right, our data packet is perfectly packaged and sealed up. Now it's ready to go to work. This brings us to Section 3, AI processing. This is where secure data meets some serious intelligence. So, that data packet we just put together gets sent out from your private server. It then travels across the wide open internet. But here's the thing. Because it's all signed and structured using the SDTP standard, its integrity is protected every single step of the way. It's basically wearing a suit of armor on its journey. And here is where the magic happens. It arrives at its destination, an AI system, ready for processing. The AI can use the data inside the payload to do its job. But at the same time, it can instantly check the signature to confirm that the data is authentic and hasn't been messed with. This creates a real foundation of trust between you, the owner of the data, and whatever AI service you're using. So the AI did its thing. It generated some kind of insight. Now what? Let's check out the final stage, Section 4, web consumption. This is where we unlock the actual value from all this. And this is where the flexibility of this whole protocol really shines. The output, the result, it's not locked into just one system. As you can see from this chart, it can be used across the entire internet, from the old-school read-only web to the social read-write platforms of Web 2, and even into the decentralized read-write-own world of Web 3. So, here's the main takeaway from this part. SDTP isn't just about sending a message from point A to point B. It's actually creating a single, secure pipeline that can feed the entire internet. It connects all these different web versions, making your data valuable and useful everywhere, without ever sacrificing that security we established right at the start. All right, let's zoom out for our last section here. Section 5, the big picture. Let's talk about what this all really means for the future of how we exchange data. So, why does all this matter? Let's just quickly recap. First, user control. You cite it, you control its journey. Simple as that. Second, verifiable security. Those crypto signatures are your guarantee. Third, universal interoperability. It connects the whole internet, past, present, and future. And finally, it's AI ready, building that trust we need for the next generation of technology. And all of that brings us to one final, really powerful question. If we can put ownership back in the hands of the user and create a universal standard for secure data that everything and everyone can plug into, could this be how we finally build an internet that we can truly trust? That's a pretty compelling idea to think about.